It was exactly 1 a.m. As the clock struck midnight and tipped into the haunting hour of 1 a.m., my inbox lit up with a chilling new message. No subject, no name, just a blank sender and a cryptic line. There are 3 places in Savannah, Georgia, that even the dead fear to linger. Attached were coordinates and brief blood-curdling notes about the Whispering Cellar, an abandoned speakeasy deep underground where ghostly jazz still plays and shadows dance without light. The Widow's Staircase, a moss-covered spiral stairwell in an old mansion where every step you take is matched by someone or something behind you. The Devil's Garden, a rotted courtyard of a long-demolished asylum where laughter echoes, but no one is there. No one dares step foot there at midnight, but I do. I'm Mr. Midnight Hunter, and I only hunt when the veil is thin, when the clock reads 1 a.m. I grabbed my gear, followed the map, and ventured into the very heart of Savannah's cursed corners. Every second recorded, every sound captured, every whisper documented. What I experienced can only be described as pure, unfiltered terror. And to those thinking about visiting these places, don't. Not unless your soul is built of iron and your heart doesn't falter in the dark. Haunted Site 1. The Whispering Cellar. We're here. The first coordinate led us to this dark alleyway, tucked away from the lantern-lit streets of the historic district. The air is immediately thicker down here, heavy and still. According to the GPS, our destination isn't a building or a graveyard. It's down those steps. The email called this place the Whispering Cellar. I've done my research, and there's no official record of that name, but the story provided fits the city's grim folklore. Savannah is riddled with legends of secret underground tunnels. Places like the famous Pirate's House are linked to tales of smugglers and the horrifying practice of shanghaiing, where men were drugged, dragged through tunnels to the river, and forced onto ships, never to be seen again. But the legend tied to this cellar is different. It claims that during Prohibition, this was a thriving speakeasy. The story ends in a violent police raid, a gunfight, a flash fire, a massacre. The entrance was then supposedly sealed, bearing the evidence and its victims. It's a gruesome tale, but I can find no historical proof of such an event. This legend seems to belong only to the email. It says the spirits of the patrons are trapped here, reliving their violent, fiery end for eternity. I have my gear ready. K 2-meter, spirit box, full spectrum camera. The mission is to find out why this place is feared. Let's do this. Whoa, the temperature just crashed. It's not a gradual drop. It's like stepping through an invisible wall of ice. It has to be 20 degrees colder down here. And that smell, damp earth, soured whiskey, and something else, acrid like old smoke baked into the brick. You can feel the weight of history in this room. The walls seem to sweat secrets. I'm starting with a K2 sweep, just to get a baseline. Completely dead. Nothing. I'll set up in the center of the room and try a spirit box session. It's just past midnight. Prime time. My name is Mr. Midnight Hunter. I was brought here by an anonymous email. I mean, no disrespect. I just want to understand what happened in this place. Is there anyone here who can speak with me? A burst of static, then a single guttural word comes through. Liar. Liar. I'm not lying to you. I'm here to listen. Was this a speakeasy? Were you here when it ended? The spirit box crackles again. A different voice this time, thin and reedy. Fire. Hot. Then I heard it. Faintly at first, then clearer. Music. Distorted, melancholy jazz, seeming to come from the very walls. And the K2 meter, which was silent a moment ago, is now screaming, its lights flashing red in the darkness. Hello? Was that you? Did you play that music for me? The box whispers a single urgent command. Run! Run! Why? Are you the ones who are afraid? The email said the dead fear this place. Are you afraid of something? The music stopped. The K2 fell silent. And then I heard a new sound. A sound that wasn't from the spirit box. A woman's laughter, but it was cold, mocking. It echoed from the far corner of the cellar. As I spun my light towards the sound, the shadows on the wall seemed to writhe and pull away from the beam. They weren't just shadows, they were coalescing, deepening into something vaguely human-shaped before dissolving back into the darkness. This isn't just a residual memory. There's something intelligent here, something that knows I'm here, and it feels like it's being watched by something else. That command to run, it wasn't a threat, it was a warning. 1 down, 2 to go. Haunted Site 2, the Widow's Staircase. We've just arrived at the second coordinate. It's a residential street lined with these colossal, decaying mansions. Many of these homes are famously haunted, like the Sorrel Weed House, where tales of infidelity and suicide have left a permanent stain. That history is brutal, involving spurned lovers and the echoes of a Revolutionary War battlefield. The story for this location has its same tragic feel. The email called it the Widow's Staircase. The legend attached to this specific house is one of absolute heartbreak, born from Savannah's agonizing war with yellow fever. The epidemic of 1820 was particularly cruel. According to the email, this home belonged to a wealthy family, but within a single week, the husband and their 2 young children succumbed to the plague. The widow was left utterly alone, drowning in grief. The story concludes a few months later, when she hurled herself from the top of the home's grand staircase, ending her life on the unforgiving floor below. Like the cellar, this story seems to exist only within the email. I can find no official record of it. The legend claims her sorrowful spirit is bound to the staircase, weeping for her lost family. Those who have allegedly broken in have reported the icy touch of unseen hands on their backs, the distinct sound of a woman sobbing, and the terrifying apparition of a figure in a black mourning veil. This isn't the chaotic energy of a crowd. This is the focused, raw agony of a single soul. The front door is unlocked. It looks like we're not the first to visit. The air inside is instantly different from the cellar. That was chaotic. This is heavy, an oppressive sadness that sits on your chest and makes it hard to breathe. There it is, the Widow's Staircase. It's magnificent, even in its decay, but the air around it, it's unnaturally cold. Let me get a temperature reading. The rest of the room is a humid 70 degrees, but right here, at the base of the stairs, the thermal camera shows a column of deep blue. The temperature is plunging into the 40s, a focused, isolated pillar of cold. I'm starting an EVP session. The legend says she follows you up the stairs. My name is Mr. Midnight Hunter. I am here to hear your story. The sadness in this house is overwhelming. I cannot imagine your pain. A floorboard creaks behind me. I spin around. Nothing. But I heard it clear as day. A footstep, and then another, mimicking my own as I begin to climb. It's like I have a shadow I can't see. Whoa, a freezing cold spot just passed right through me. It felt like I was dunked in ice water. Are you here with me? Is this your home? The recorder is picking up a faint sound. It's not a voice, it's a child's giggle. Was that one of your children? The giggle is cut short by a woman's agonized sob. So clear it sounds like it's right next to my ear. Suddenly, a voice breaks through the static on my spirit box. It's not a whisper. It's a clear, desperate plea. Find them. Find them? Find who? Your children. How can I help you? The camera on the tripod at the bottom of the stairs starts to malfunction, the view screen flickering wildly before going black. The battery was full. Something is draining the power. Oh my God. At the top of the stairs, there was a figure. A tall, slender shadow of a woman, darker than the surrounding blackness. I saw the outline of a dress and a veil covering her face. She wasn't just standing there. She was pointing down the hall, her arm outstretched, before she simply faded into nothing. She's not just an echo. She's intelligent. She's aware. and she's trapped in an ocean of grief. That warning from the seller, "Run!" It's starting to make sense. Maybe they weren't warning me away from them. Maybe they were trying to protect me from this, from her, and from whatever comes next. What I just saw, I have no words. I've captured shadows before, but this was an intelligent communication. I felt her desperation. That sorrow is going to stay with me. We are on our way to the final coordinate, and if the intensity keeps escalating like this, I am genuinely terrified of what we're about to walk into. The email warned these were places the dead fear, and I am beginning to understand why. If you want to see how this story ends, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It's the only way to make sure you don't miss the conclusion. All right, one location left, the one the email warned about most. Let's go to the Devil's Garden. Haunted Site 3, the Devil's Garden. This is it, the final location. The drive here was completely silent. I just keep seeing that figure on the stairs. The energy at the first two sites was powerful, but this feels wrong. The email didn't just list this coordinate. There was a scribbled note next to it. The ground here is sour. The GPS led us away from the city, away from the historic homes, to a desolate, overgrown plot of land forgotten by time. This is what the email called the Devil's Garden. The legend provided for this place is the darkest of all. It doesn't speak of pirates or a single tragedy. It's born from the mass suffering of children. The email claimed this was the site of a 19th century asylum for unwanted children. It wasn't a place of healing, it was a place of horrors. The story detailed unspeakable abuse and neglect of children chained to posts in this very courtyard as a twisted form of therapy. It claimed the asylum burned to the ground in the late 1800s, trapping dozens of young souls inside. As with the others, I can find no official record of this asylum or the fire. The story seems to be a complete fabrication from the anonymous sender. But Savannah's soil is soaked in real mass tragedies. Colonial Park Cemetery holds a mass grave for nearly 700 yellow fever victims from 1820 alone. That kind of collective trauma poisons the earth. So a story like this, it feels horribly plausible here. The legend says the children's spirits are trapped, but they're not just sad. They are angry, and they're not alone. The story claims the evil that happened here drew something else, something ancient and malevolent that now feeds on the pain in the soil. That's why they call it the Devil's Garden. This isn't a haunting, it's a curse. There's a break in the fence, it's the only way in. I have all my equipment, but for the first time, I don't think it's enough. This feels like crossing a threshold from which there's no return. It's completely silent. No crickets, no wind, nothing. It's an unnatural silence, like the entire world is holding its breath. I'm starting with a thermal sweep. The whole area is cold, but uniformly so. No distinct spots. I'm walking towards the center, where the email showed an old fountain once stood. What was that? Laughter, a child's laughter, echoing from the trees. Then another and another. It's coming from all around me. They're playing. Hello? Are there children here? What are your names? Suddenly, the playful laughter twists, becoming panicked. It turns into shrieks of terror, a chorus of screams. No, my gear. Everything just died, all at once. Full power drain across 3 separate battery packs. That's not possible. Hello? I know you're here. Show yourselves. A small ball rolls out from the darkness and stops at my feet. The screaming has stopped. It's dead quiet again. I bend down to touch it, and as my fingers make contact, no, I saw it. I saw it. I'm done. I'm out. This place is not just haunted, it's occupied. It's a prison. The email was right. The spirits of those children aren't in charge. They're the bait. And that thing that I saw, it's what they're afraid of. It's what the dead are afraid of. Well, I am confused. I'm still trying to process what I saw. I have been investigating the paranormal for years. I have stood in the most infamous locations on the planet. I have never ever experienced anything like what happened in that garden. That was not a ghost. A ghost is a memory of a person. That thing, it was something predatory. The children, their laughter turning to screams. They aren't haunting that garden. They are being tormented there. The anonymous email, it wasn't a hoax. It was a warning. And I walked right into the trap. My personal review. I've spent hours locked in this room, combing through the footage. The evidence we captured is the most terrifying and compelling I have ever recorded. First, the cellar. We have the faint, distorted jazz music, but more importantly, this clear, mocking laughter that came from an empty corner of the room. A direct, intelligent response. Then at the widow's staircase, it escalated. We captured the camera dying, the child's giggle cut short by that heart-wrenching sob, and that clear, pleading EVP. Find them. And then there's the visual. The shadow figure at the top of the stairs. It was quick, but it's unmistakably there, pointing, but none of it holds a candle to the Devil's Garden. I thought the catastrophic power failure meant I lost everything. But one camera, in its final second before dying, saved a corrupted file to its internal memory. Watch this. There. That thing that rose up when I touched the ball. I've enhanced and stabilized the image. It's not a shadow. It has form and mass. It's impossibly tall and thin, with limbs that are too long, moving in a way that isn't natural. It was standing right over me. This is what the dead fear. A presence so dark, so powerful, it can trap and torture souls that are already lost. At the end, I would share only one thing. I came to Savannah following a breadcrumb trail left by a ghost. I thought I was hunting for a story, maybe debunking a local legend. But I found something much, much worse. The 3 coordinates weren't just haunted places, they were a progression. The whispering cellar was a warning from the trapped. The widow's staircase was a plea from the sorrowful. And the Devil's Garden. It was the den of the predator that feeds on them all. Savannah's reputation as America's most haunted city is earned. It's not just about the sheer number of ghosts, it's about the kind of darkness that festers beneath the surface. The person who sent me that email remains a mystery. Were they trying to prove something to me? Or were they trying to warn me away? I may never know. But now I have to ask you, what was that thing we captured? What was that figure in the garden that drained all the life and energy from that place? Was it the devil from the legend? Or is it something else? Something we don't have a name for yet? Let me know what you think in the comments. I will be reading every single one. Thank you for being here with me on this journey into true darkness. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications because after this night, my understanding of the paranormal and the things that hunt in the dark has been changed forever. Until next time, stay safe and be very careful what emails you open. Also, if you wish to share your paranormal story or wish me to explore any haunted site,